Life is messy and we all know it. And it's easy to get into a creative funk, and it happens to all of us. But I promise you will get out of it. Welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. I am your sketch pal, Koosje Koenen, and today I want to show you a sketchbook that is packed with drawings, creative experiments, emotions, adventures, and ordinary stuff. And at the end of the video, I have a simple but fun drawing assignment for you. This is a Boesner sketchbook. I filled it in February and March. The size is B5, which is somewhere between A5 and A4. The paper is 200 grams Bristol paper, which is a smooth kind of paper, and I love how my pen slides over this type of paper. It has 128 pages and it's therefore quite hefty. The paper is heavy enough to take wet media like watercolor, but it doesn't love many layers. That's okay for me, as I am not a watercolorist. I like to use watercolors and then combining them with other media like colored pencils, like I did here on the tulip pages. Here's a page that I filled during my February live online session where we used our non-dominant hand for drawing more loosely. I teach these live online mini workshops every month and everybody can join. The techniques and approaches are applicable for beginners and more advanced. And it's just great to spend time together, drawing together for about 90 minutes. And if you sign up and can't attend live, then you'll get access to the recording of the video. Here's another page where I had fun with mixed media. I started with brush pen, then added watercolor and drew on top with crayons and colored pencils. So much fun playing with materials. This is also a fun, playful experiment using collage. For the sweater and the socks, and then drawing line on top. I love how this came out, quirky and creative. And hey, suddenly we are traveling. My husband and I got away from the dark, gloomy Dutch winter weather and spent a week on Gran Canaria, which is a Spanish island. We soaked up the light, the sun and the surroundings and culture, and I couldn't stop drawing. Here's a study of a cortado, coffee with a splash of milk, done in 3 different approaches. Coloring outside the lines, coloring the drawing with 2 watercolor blobs maximum, and a non-logical blob first, then line. Studying one subject this way gives you many insights about your own go-tos and the endless other creative possibilities. This is a collage page that I prepared and never felt like drawing on top of, so I left it. Drawing the view while rain came into the valley and the light and colors changed dramatically and constantly. In the car, I wrote down my husband's comment on how once again I did not catch any likeness. I'll have to learn to accept it, is what he said. And I am accepting my very wonky cars on this page as well. When drawing while traveling, I love gluing in receipts and ticket stubs and stuff like that. And also add a bit of writing so the page becomes more of a travel journal. On this trip, I used my trusty combination of fountain pen with water-soluble ink and watercolors, but I also brought a small palette with gouache paint. Just a few colors. I wanted to see how and if I'd like to use them on location. There will be more about using gouache paint in an upcoming Draw Tip Tuesday video. Drawing at this quiet square was so very relaxing. I really enjoyed capturing the strong shadows in the late afternoon light. These Spain drawings bring me into the mood for my next trip to Spain in September, and you can join me on this one. We'll start in Barcelona and go off the beaten path at the Costa Brava. Susie and Jeanette, our guides, will lead the traveling and I will lead classes every day. Your sketchbook will be filled with mark making and color. You'll capture people, places and moments, and each page will be filled with vivid memories of our trip together. There are just a few spots left, so follow the link in the video description to join me. Here's another of my gouache experiments. I like the chalky, opaque texture, but also need texture on top, so it's great to combine with colored pencils and crayons. I was quite amazed what interesting colors I could mix with just that ochre yellow, opera pink and 2 blues that I brought. Plus it allowed me to take artistic liberty and not trying to mix the brownish greenish shades, but let the colors reflect my feelings of this happy place. Observing people is so fun when waiting at an airport, but drawing them is even better. Unfortunately, my husband got a terrible cold, but was still willing to be drawn by me. Gesture drawing with videos online, a great way to practice drawing people. I made a video about this, which I will link to at the end of this video. Drawing from TV or online streams are a great way to practice drawing faces. And spring is finally here, and I celebrated it in my sketchbook. When I don't know what to draw or where to start, I draw a few frames first, then fill them with small drawings. The pressure of filling a page is much lower, as you just fill one panel at a time with a small drawing. By looking around me and zooming in and out, I describe the moment at home on this page. The random drawings become a whole because of the frames and the cohesive use of materials and color. Here's some more gouache experiments. I like how the opaque paint can give some kind of an illustrative effect. Some urban sketches. And here I was out drawing with a friend and I tried her pan pastels. Conclusion, not my thing. Too dry, too messy. End of story. Here I drew that same friend in the foreground and included the middle ground and the background. Do you notice how I use my colors to bring focus into the drawing, like I showed in a video a few weeks ago? Just like I keep telling myself that I cannot draw cars, even though it's not even true, I keep telling myself that I can't draw animals. So I need to practice more. Sitting on a terrace at a neighboring table, there was this cute dog that I studied, using gouache paint and fountain pen with calligraphy nib. Plus drawing people starting with colorful blobs first. And yet another trip is coming up. I'm traveling by train to Antwerp, drawing people on the train and then in Antwerp on a terrace. I was there with 3 friends to celebrate we're all turning 50 this year. It was great spending time with them, exploring a city with a wonderful, lively and creative vibe. They know how important drawing is for me, so they weren't surprised whenever I would take out my sketchbook while chatting with them at a terrace, or taking some time for myself and my sketchbook, skipping the shopping part they wanted to do, for example. For this one, I used a limited palette of just pink and yellow. I love that combination. It's like bubblegum. This one may be familiar, since I shared the process in a recent video. I did some live model drawing online, led by Dutch illustrator Sarah van Dongen. She cued us to paint the negative space first, and I love that approach, especially because then you need minimal line, you don't need to outline the whole figure. I think that's really exciting. I especially like the limited time on short poses. When the poses are longer, I often finish in a few minutes anyway, because I like the energy of a drawing in a short time. No overthinking, just getting the essence in. Like I said, I made a video about how to practice drawing people for more lively postures. I'll also add that link to the video description. Here I got into a bit of a rut. I think it was a combination of having a very full schedule, anxiety about the state of the world, not taking enough time for my drawing practice. Who knows, hormones could have taken a role too. But when I get into a funk like this, I just keep going. Even when I don't love the drawings that I produce, I am still making stuff. I'm still spending time on something that feeds me emotionally and gives me energy. I know that this is part of being an artist. Getting in a rut now and then is totally normal. If you are in a funk, just know that it will pass. For me, this time it wasn't so bad. It took a little over a week before getting back into the right sort of groove again. The March mini workshop might have been the ignition for it. And before I knew it, I was approaching the end of my sketchbook with some colorful drawings and a selfie. I hope you enjoyed it. So many pages, right? You know what to do. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. And here's your assignment. Pick one moment from your day, big or small. Maybe your breakfast, something you saw on a walk, or a messy corner in your home. It really doesn't matter. Draw it in your sketchbook. Add a little color if you like. Write a few words next to it. What happened, what you noticed, or how it made you feel. That's it. One small drawing, one real moment. Do this a few days in a row and see how your sketchbook starts to tell your story. Have fun! I'll see you next week.